Obviously, we're really excited to get kicked off here this year for the 21-22 season here with Team 100. It's been a long off season. It's been good to get back to normal. We've been able to practice with no stoppages like it was last year. Our chemistry, we've been able to have guys over to our house, been able to do a lot of team bonding activities, which has been a lot of fun. But it's been a long preseason, though. These are always the dog days. I think we've had 28 practices now. So I know our guys are really excited to get out and play in front of a crowd and play another team. So excited to get back out here. I'm excited. I like our team a lot. Obviously we got to get healthy. Zach Freemantle's going to be out early on here in the non-conference, but it's going to be next man up. That's why we have other guys on scholarship. We got good depth, really good depth on our team. We just need other guys to step up and to make up for Zach. But I do like our team. I think we're deep. I think we're versatile. We can play big, we can play small. The big kind of area of focus for us has been on the defensive end. That's where we got to be better this year. I thought offensively we were good enough last year. Defense travels, though, that and rebounding. And that's what wins in the Big East is those toughness plays, and that's what we got to get back to. But excited to get out here against Ferris State on Friday night.
Last night on your radio show, you talked about Freemantle quite a bit, and you mentioned how tricky it is dealing with foot injuries and coming back from that. But I'm curious, you mentioned the timeline is 6 weeks, and that can obviously vary a little bit depending on how he heals and how he progresses. But when you get to that 6-week mark, how do you go about assessing if he's ready to get out of the boot, if he's ready to start moving on it? Like, what's that process like for a foot injury and a surgery like that?
Yeah, I'm not a doctor, Adam, but I kind of where he had his injury was tougher to get blood flow, right? And so it's harder to heal. And we thought it was obviously best for him, and Zach did ultimately, to have surgery so that it gave us a strict timeline. If we didn't do surgery, it was just kind of open-ended. It may have felt better, may not have in 10 weeks, who knows? So we felt like surgery is the safest way to go for Zach and for his future as well. Because there was never really a full break, but kind of moving forward from here, he's obviously doing rehab every single day. He's got his stitches out already. It's been 2 weeks since he's had the surgery. I think he'll progressively do more things, right? He'll progressively, he'll get out of the boot, and then all of a sudden, again, he'll start to be able to put weight on his foot. And Dave Fluker, who's our athletic trainer, and our strength coach, Chase Campbell, are working hand in hand every single day along with the PTs to make sure that, again, we're heading in the right direction. 4 to 6 weeks is the timeline. That's what the doctor said when they had the surgery. I always go worst case scenario, right? I don't want to think about 4 weeks because, again, would love to have him out there, right? I need him out on the floor. I don't need him over on the bench. But listen, it's next man up mentality here, Xavier. That's who we are. So, but again, our doctors will kind of come to that conclusion, as he kind of progresses.
You had your first real live action over the weekend against another team. Can you sort of walk us through what you saw in that scrimmage against Vanderbilt, what you liked, what you didn't like, and what you kind of walked away from that thinking, hey, we need to be better here. This is kind of our focus going forward.
Yeah, the great thing about those scrimmages, you can kind of test things out, right? And it's kind of trial and error. I want to see different lineups. Didn't know, obviously, with Zach out, we wanted to try even a 5-guard lineup, right, which we got an opportunity to do. I liked our pace of play. We're playing really, really fast, faster than I think we've ever played since I've been here at Xavier. I think we got a lot of versatility. Guys like, Colby and Jerome, they're those 6'6", 6'8", like long, kind of versatile. They can rebound and push, which allows us to play really, really fast. Loved our defense in the first half. I thought we got absolutely gassed. We were exhausted. Even towards the end of the first half, I thought we started to get a little bit tired. And that really kind of showed through. We had a little bit of a shorter team depth-wise this weekend against Vanderbilt. And I thought we really felt that in the second half. But again, so we're doing a little bit more conditioning, even like in the mornings right now, extra conditioning for certain guys. And even in practice, we're able to play 5-on-5, which is nice right now. For a while there, this preseason, we were not able to. Right, we were doing a lot of 4-on-4 stuff, but now we're able to play 5-on-5, which will help us get us in game shape. But I liked our defense a lot in the first half, a lot. I thought we were really good. I thought we contested everything. I thought we were physical. Like I said, we tried the different lineups kind of the second half. I kind of wanted to do a little test run, see what we had. And there were some good things and some bad things too. So, again, I think our shot selection's got to be better too, Adam, though. Like, we want to play really, really fast. Like I said, and we are playing fast, but we got to be smart with our pace, right? You know, I don't want contested jump shots with 27 seconds on the shot clock. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Sometimes you got to earn your offense, and that's where we got to kind of get better, is flowing into our offense and then moving the ball and being the team that we know we can be on that end.
And what are you looking for specifically on Friday night against Ferris State? What would you like to see?
More, I want defense and rebound. I want to dominate the glass, and I want to defend. I want to make them earn every single shot. I just want max effort, and then on the offensive end, I want to play fast and I want to play together, share the ball. And if we do those things, those are the things that we focused on here in the preseason that need to show kind of during these live games.
Yeah, it's funny, Travis. When I talk to coaches before the start of the season, I always ask, why is this season big? And it's without fail, every coach says every season is big. And I get that, it is. But do you feel like there's an urgency about the program right now? We know what the standard is at Xavier. Do you feel like there's a different kind of urgency this year with this ball club?
I think there's a lot of urgency. I will tell you that. You know, obviously with Paul and Nate coming back and using their COVID years, it didn't end the way that we wanted it to last year, Joe. So, yes, I think that's kind of been with us the whole offseason, though, too, right? And that's kind of driven us the whole offseason. We know the expectations here and the standards here at Xavier, and we're excited to get out here and start this journey here on Friday night against Ferris State.
And the other one I wanted to ask about is the shooting. We know how much three-point shooting has become a premium in basketball. How do you feel about the shooting this year and the options you have of the three-point, the different three-point options you do have on this team?
Yeah, three-point shot has changed college basketball. When you look at it over the last 10 years, what it's done in the NBA's trickled down to college. Everybody talks about rim and threes, right? They're trying to get rid of the mid-range game, which I think there's a place for the mid-range game. I really do, as long as they're open shots. But shooting is at a premium in college basketball because that allows teams to go on bigger runs, right? If you can hit 2 or 3 threes in a row in a game, that can either extend that lead, right, and open up the game, or it can also, if vice versa, get you back in the game very quickly. It gives you more, spurtability, right? It gives you more upside on the offensive end. Having Nate come back was huge, right? I mean, I think he's one of the top, if he's not the top shooter in the country, he's got to be top 3, top 5 in the entire country. AK, Adam Kunkel, is shooting the absolute cover off the ball right now. I mean, he shot in live play in practice, he's shooting 45% from 3, and he is taking a lot of threes. So it's not small amount. I mean, he's doing a large volume. Then we added Jerome Hunter, Jerome's another guy who can really shoot the ball, being 6'8". He shot the ball really well in practice. Obviously Jack Nunge, transfer from Iowa, even though he's 6'11", shoots the ball very well at his position. Paul's shooting almost 40%, so's Colby. Now, Paul and Colby's volume isn't nearly as large as Nate and Adam and Jerome, but we're shooting the ball really, really well. I feel very good about our shooting this year at all positions, right? Even our 5-minute, when you get Zach back healthy as well, he's another guy that can really stretch you at the 5 and the 4.
And I know I've asked you this before, but is the expectation that we'll see Jack Nunge get some playing time on Friday?
Yeah, he's going to play Friday. He could have played, in our scrimmage. He could have played at Musketeer Madness, to be honest. I just want to be extra cautious, especially with what happened with Zach. We need Jack. We need him healthy. He's a really, really, really good player. We need him out there. And again, he's been going full go practice, 5-on-5, the whole deal. He feels great. There's been no issues. He's got to get in shape a little bit, and that's why we're going to limit his minutes. Even against Ferris, we'll probably start at about 10 minutes. Then I want to gradually increase those minutes up over these first few games.
Through your first 3 years, one of the problems that you really haven't had to deal with too much is is an abundance of depth like you have this year. And I know you're banged up right now with Zach out, but how do you go about managing all that depth and trying to keep guys happy? Is it as simple as like, hey, here's the Xavier way, here's who's going to play, here's not who's not going to play, and how many guys would you like to use in your lineup consistently?
Yeah, I think a couple thoughts with depth. I think number one, we earn all of our time in practice. Like you said, you mentioned the Xavier way. We stat everything in practice. Playing time comes down to production and trust. Xavier way shows a lot of, hey, who's producing and who's not. And numbers don't lie. People lie. Numbers don't lie. Right? Then I look at, okay, well, how are you grading out? And Xavier way is only graded out during live segments of practice, right? It's not versus scout team or anything like that. Defensive grading is what gains my trust, right? So we grade out every single live possession in practice is graded out on the defensive end. Can you execute our system? That gains trust, right? So I go over that with everybody on our team every 2 weeks, so they know exactly where they stand. If we were to have a game that night, would they be starting? Would they be coming off the bench? How many minutes could they roughly expect? Obviously, foul trouble and different things. Guys play really well in games. You make an adjustment, but it gives them a rough idea of where they stand, which I think is very, very important to have those transparent conversations. Depth is important as far as a couple things go. Number one, we want our practices to be harder than the games, right? Which we got a lot of depth, which makes our practices really, really competitive. Number two, allows us to play really fast. We need more possessions in the game than we've ever had. We have to play faster. We have to be committed to that, both after missed shots, made shots, turnovers. We have to play really, really, really fast to wear teams down. Because the advantage I think this team has over a lot of the other teams we're going to play is the depth piece. We have really good depth on our team. Then you got to get everybody to buy in, like you said, Adam, which is hard, right? Because everybody, listen, there's one basketball, and there's only 200 minutes, and that's not changing, and getting guys to all understand, listen, it's all about winning. Nothing else matters. If you want individual accolades, the guys that get I watch our women's soccer team who just won the Big East Championship, which congrats to them. Coach Liza and Coach Nate's done a great job. You look at all the individual accolades that their team just got, was it yesterday or 2 days ago or whatever it was, how many all-conference members they got, player of the year, goalkeeper of the year. I mean, they swept all that stuff because they won the league. They were the best team in the Big East. All right, so listen, you could be – every bad team has the leading scorer, and nobody cares about that guy. It's about, are we winning or are we not winning, and getting guys to buy into that, understand that, which I think we have the right guys in our locker room, and we have the right leadership with Paul Scruggs and Zach Fremantle and Jack Nungy and those guys to help bring guys along and show them that way.
Travis, one of the names you've talked about quite a bit this offseason is Deontay Miles. Obviously, going to his third year in the program, you spoke pretty glowingly about his growth for this season. What's really jumped out the most as we're getting closer to gameplay from what you've seen from him?
I think first and foremost it's his confidence. He's a different person. I think he's more comfortable. He's more confident. Even just how he talks to his teammates, how he talks to coaches, how he just interacts with people. You just see a different Deontay. His body looks bigger and stronger. Right? He's put on about 15 pounds of muscle, and I think that probably again it just leads to confidence. And then it started last spring. I really challenged him because he needed to step up. He had to show me how bad he wanted it, and nothing was going to be given to him. And you know what? He took the bull by the horns, and he worked every day with Coach Hayes, and he's gotten dramatically better. I think Deontay can be great in 3 areas for us right now, and he's going to continue to get better in other areas. Number one, he is an elite rim runner. All right, when I say rim runner, a guy that can put a lot of pressure on the rim, whether that's in transition, running to the rim, whether that's setting a ball screen and rolling to the rim. He can catch basketballs that you see guys like Clint Capella, Jackson Hayes, a local here Moeller product that's playing down there with the Pelicans. Those guys catch. Nobody else can catch it. Like Deontay can catch those passes up top of the backboard and dunk the ball. Right? Like I wish I could. In my backyard, I do that with my 7-year-old, right, all the time on a 6-foot hoop. But the other thing he does great is ball screen defense. He's so mobile. He can switch ball screens. He can hedge ball screens. He can protect the rim. That's a lot of good stuff, right? And I said, man, be elite at those things, then we'll add to it. And that's what he's done. I mean, he has really taken off. Our guys, his teammates believe in him. They have a ton of confidence in him. Love what he's bringing to our team. So I think he's going to have a breakout year for us.
Are you looking forward to seeing Zach Hankins on Friday night, hopefully?
The Hankins Bowl, I got to hit him, Adam. Again, listen, we were grateful to get him on a grad transfer. And Coach Bronkham is a good friend of mine up at Ferris State. This shows you the character of Bronkham. All right, I think they won the national title that year, the D2 national title, Zach's last year there. Before the season, Hankins went to Bronkham and basically told him, hey, listen, I want a grad transfer at the end of the year. I'm interested in it. So Bronkham emails 4 schools. All right, I'm only going to mention us because we were one of the 4. All right, I don't think the other 3 schools followed up at all. So I said, hey, listen, Chris Mack was the head coach at the time. I said, hey, Mack, we need to go up and we need to go sit down with this guy. He got this email, watch a little film. He looks pretty good. And but for to Bronkham to be able to have the character and just most coaches would have told that kid, hey, no, you're not doing this. You're not, he did it before the season because he didn't want to be a distraction to his teammates throughout the year. And thinking, hey, what's Zach going to do? Is he going to grad transfer? Is he going to stay? He wanted to be able to focus on just the season. Just speaks volumes to, honestly, Bronkham and Hankins. And again, I told Bronk, hey, we owed him one. We were going to play him again here at some point because we actually Zach played here, Hankins. We played Ferris State, I want to say, when he was a junior up there. So he'd already been here before and visited, at least played the game, so he saw what an atmosphere looked like. But again, very grateful that we were able to get Hankins. But Bronk's a good friend of mine. He does a great job. We're excited to play him. But hopefully Hankins knows who to cheer for. We good? Thanks, guys.